My friends, where there's smoke, there's fire. And where there's fire in a church, there's Islam. Howard Riell, Real Truth. Welcome to Tuesday. Item from the End of the American Dream blog. The entire world was absolutely shocked by the massive fire that engulfed the Notre Dame Cathedral on Monday. We're being told the structure of the cathedral has been saved, but according to CNN, the entire wooden interior of Notre Dame Cathedral has been lost. Now that the initial shock of the fire has subsided, the internet is buzzing with speculation about the origin of the fire. In the end, there are only two options. Either this was an accident or someone intentionally started the fire. If the fire was intentionally started, obviously someone had a motive for doing so. Stop. Folks, let us not dance around this issue. This is America, not Europe. In Europe, they tippy toe around anything having to do with Muslims. But here in America, we have freedom of speech still. There is a long history of Muslims attacking churches, burning churches, destroying churches. When the Muslims took down the World Trade Center, it was because it was a symbol of corporate America. Now that they've burned down Notre Dame Cathedral, which is a symbol of Christian Europe, it's important to the worldwide Ummah, the body of Islam, because they intend to take over Europe, and by the way, they're doing it. They're doing it not only with violence and intimidation and terrorism, they're doing it demographically. They are out procreating Europeans in every country. And so if you were to step into a time machine and zap forward 50 years, you will see a Muslim Europe. And this was part of that. Let's not be fools. Now, if you're waiting for a headline on CNN, French police link terrorism to burning of Notre Dame, well, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get it. First of all, the French police would never, ever say that to the news media. And second, CNN would never, ever report it. In case you don't know, there's political correctness at work in the world. In Europe, they won't tell you if a crime was committed by a Muslim. They will hush it up. They'll lie. CNN, MSNBC, most of the mainstream media here in the United States, they won't tell you that either. I've told this story on this show before. I used to live in Pennsylvania near a college campus, and a girl was attacked by an 18 or 19-year-old black male. When it hit the news, people were told that she was attacked by an 18 or 19-year-old male. They wouldn't mention the fact that he was black because that would make you racist. And so to avoid the charge of racism, the attacker that people had to look out for went unidentified. Did he attack other girls? I don't know. But he might have, because no one knew what to look for. If you don't identify a problem, you can't solve it. Europe is in denial. They have slit their own throats, and they are aware of it. They see their countries gasping. Sweden, Denmark, Germany, France, England, they're gasping because they're dying. They thought that bringing in replacement populations and employees from Muslim countries would save Europe. They were fools. They were drinking seawater. So now the symbol of Christian Europe has burned to the ground. We won't get the truth. Or at least I'd be very surprised if we do. But at least we can learn a lesson. This is a war of civilizations. Nothing less. They are the aggressors. We are on defense. Are we on defense? Or anyone even aware that we're in this war? Anyone plan on fighting it? On struggling to survive? What would survive here in America? What is America? Who is America? Where is America going? We can't even agree on that anymore. We can't even agree on protecting our borders, on having police. We can't agree that capitalism, which has made us the richest country in the history of the human race, we can't even agree if we want to keep that. We have some corrupt, venal politician wanted to be president. Tens of millions of people were ready to hand her the keys to power. We have a guy in the White House running a transparent administration, thoroughly patriotic, doing amazing things for this country, and people despise him. So what are we doing here in America? We face an existential threat from Islam. Not today, not next week, but over the next few decades. Just like we see happening in Europe now. Europe is dying because they won't so much as defend themselves. Will we? And please don't insult my intelligence by saying, oh, Howard Riell, he doesn't like Muslims, he's a racist. Islam is not a race. Anybody of any race in the world can be a Muslim. My contention, supported by former Muslims, and you can find them on YouTube, is that Islam is not even a religion, it's a cult. It is a political death cult, posing as a religion. And because it's a cult instead of a religion, well, guess what? It's not entitled to our First Amendment protections. And so when the Chinese and the Japanese are defending themselves strongly against the incursions of Islam, we're playing games. We're mouthing platitudes. And we're raising generations of kids on college campuses who begin to weep if you say anything that hurts their feelings. So no, you'll have to forgive me, I am not optimistic about this country's future. If I were to see some kind of abrupt turnaround, I could be. I don't see it happening. And I've been yelling my lungs out on this show. August will be 11 years. So let's learn a lesson from Notre Dame. Let's know who did it and why and what their game is. Because we're in this game. We're losing this game. And this is not one of those games that you lose and you say, okay, we'll see you next year. You lose, you're done. And I don't want to see America done. I want to see America continue, thrive, and yes, be great again. That's what I want for America and for Americans. So let's be smart, and let's be loud, and let's be active in defending our country. Now, the first video you're going to hear today is about Notre Dame Cathedral from Glenn Beck. I urge you to stick around and listen to it. I'll put it up on my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio, so you can watch it. We're going to have a lot of important stuff on the show today, as we always do. So don't touch that dial. Don't flip off of YouTube if you're watching on YouTube and watch something else. Stick around. This is Real Truth. We'll be right back.
About spring, your lush green yard and backyard barbecues? Don't blink. Before you know it, you'll be knee-high in grass. Don't let the HOA come pounding on your door. Don't be that guy. Call Turf Tamers Landscaping at 970-460-TURF or visit our website at turftamerslandscaping.com. We will get your yard in tip-top shape. Specializing in maintenance and install of commercial and residential properties, we pride ourselves in our clean-cut and approachable crew to work efficiently and quickly detailing your property. Visit our website at turftamerslandscaping.com. Our install crew can transform your backyard into the outdoor living space you've always dreamed of. Call me, Brian, at 970-460-TURF for a free walkthrough and estimate so we can meet and discuss the best options for your landscaping needs. Family-owned and locally operated, we've been serving Northern Colorado for over 18 years. Thank you for your support and supporting KHNC.
Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs that pays little to no taxes, ask yourself, what do you really want in a realtor? You need a realtor who is honest and has integrity, a realtor who is focused on the client's bottom line, not the realtor's bottom line, who provides personable, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & Associates, LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you.
All right, guys, we are back. Howard Riell, Real Truth. And by the way, if you were to go to howardriell.com, you would find a whole profile about me. I do public speaking. If there are organizations, groups, churches, civic groups, anywhere within the sound of my voice and you'd like to have me come speak, email me, howardriell@gmail.com. That's my personal email address, howardriell@gmail.com, and we can make it happen. Now, Glenn Beck, he's got a guest on the show talking about the fire at Notre Dame. Let's listen. No, they were not working at 6 o'clock. Hello? So what's sparking? What's burning at 6 o'clock? Well, I'll tell you, my friends, it's almost as if they knew what they would find and they didn't want to find it. It's almost as if someone called and say, yeah, there are some Muslim-looking guys walking around the building and now I smell smoke. And they said to themselves, let's give the Muslim-looking guys a chance to get out of here before we arrive. But am I being too cynical?
That was right.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad guess. Here's my guess. This week is Holy Week, apparently. I'm a Jewish guy. I don't know what Holy Week is, but apparently I heard on TV it is Holy Week. And it was done at rush hour so that maximum numbers of people would see it. During Holy Week, it would make maximum impact on the world.
Thank you so much.
Aha! Absolutely correct. We will not get the truth because it would, in country, it would set fire to the continent. It would set fire to the Western world. And so you bet your ass they're going to keep these facts under wraps. 11 churches burned. But listen, when this church burns, don't think anything about it. It's just coincidence. Yeah, maybe they set fire to the other churches, but not this one. This was an accidental fire. I know because the police won't stop saying that. Don't be lied to, my friends. Don't be innocent, gullible sheep.
12 churches in 1 week.
Some Muslims have been burning churches in France, but don't think that Muslims burned this church. Couldn't possibly have happened. Yeah, and not Baal, Glenn. It's Baal. There was an idol called Baal, and part of worshiping this idol was defecating. That's what he means. You're welcome, Glenn. Yeah, but don't think that this was part of an attack on Christians because the police aren't saying it. So it can't be true, right? We know the powers that be never lie. Two-a-day attacks against Christians by Muslims. But listen, don't think that Notre Dame was done by Muslims. And then you're a conspiratorial nutcase. You should be wearing a tinfoil hat. Folks, listen. What's the stupid joke people make? I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. Yeah, I was born at 10 a.m. about almost 61 years ago. You're not going to fool me with this nonsense. This has the fingerprints of Islam all over it. Now, do I care about what's going on in France? Not really. Except by how it affects me, how it affects Western civilization, how it affects all of us here in America. This was a beachfront in the war of Islam against the West around Judeo-Christianity. You heard Glenn Beck and his friend. Dozens, scores of attacks against Christians and Jews in Europe, of which Notre Dame is just the latest. I would love it if the truth would come out, but then again, I remember this is Earth. Item from CNN. 2020 Democratic hopeful Pete Buttigieg affirmed his belief in capitalism on Tuesday, but suggested the U.S. economic system has let a lot of Americans down and called for greater fairness, unquote. Translation, socialism. Buttigieg is another one of those idiot leftists who says, well, yeah, capitalism has made us richer than any country in the history of the planet, and now let's get rid of it. That's the kind of judgment that Democrats have. And so here we have Buttigieg talking to Poppy Harlow on CNN and saying, I think the reason we're having this argument over socialism and capitalism is that capitalism has let a lot of people down, unquote. Well, people have let people down. People have not put an emphasis on education. People have not worked hard to build their lives. They focused instead on Narishkeit. That's a word that means nonsense, garbage, video games, sitcoms, sports, music, drugs, surfing, porn. That's what so many Americans do. And then when they have a low income, they blame capitalism? I don't think so. So I think Pete Buttigieg needs to think a little bit about what's coming out of his mouth. And no, I will avoid the obvious joke. Item from the smoking gun. Incensed that a St. Louis hamburger joint had run out of chocolate ice cream, a female suspect went on a 2:25 a.m. rampage, breaking out the restaurant's windows with a baseball bat and spitting on employees, according to police. Police described the suspect as a black woman between the ages of 25 and 35, wearing blue jeans, green jacket, yellow shirt during the attack, unquote. Folks, we want to save America, right? Why? Why? There are stories like this every day now. People just freaking out and doing insane, stupid, violent things. Is this the America that we want to save? Or do we want to save an America that's a decent place for normal people to live in? Item from CNSnews.com. Of the 150,272,157 tax returns filed for the 2016 tax year, 50,219,667, that's a third, 33.4%, were classified by the Internal Revenue Service as non-taxable returns, meaning the people who filed them paid $0 or less in income tax, according to data published by the Statistics of Income Division of the IRS. At the same time, 80% of all income taxes paid that year were paid by tax return filers who had adjusted gross incomes of $100,000 or more. Folks, half of Americans don't pay any taxes. Something like 80% of taxes are paid by the top 2% of Americans. So you have my permission to shut up about taxing the rich. The rich are already carrying most of the load for us, and I'm not one of the rich. I wish I were, but I'm not defending my own peeps here. It's simply a fact that the rich need to no longer be vilified because they go over and above. We'll take a break and we'll be back with more Real Truth.
tax season, traffic, bills, or just plain cabin fever. Come fly fish the North Platte River with Trout Tamers Outfitters. Hi, Brian here with Trout Tamers Outfitters, 970-460-8873, or visit our website at trouttamers.com. Servicing the whole North Platte River from Northgate Canyon to Cap. Come target the aggressive rainbows this spring, floating the Gray Reef section of the river, 4 hours north of Denver and 1 hour west of Cap. Book a trip at trouttamers.com or call us at 970-460-8873. Very beginner friendly, approximately 8 hours on a drip boat floating down the scenic North Platte River. Prices include in-season flies, all gear, lunches for 2 anglers. Call about discounts for beds and suppers to see existing fees.
Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs and pays little to no taxes, ask yourself, what do you really want in a realtor? You need a realtor who is honest and has integrity, a realtor who is focused on the client's bottom line, not the realtor's bottom line, who provides personable, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & Associates, LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you.
Grandpa's Pawn and Gun. We are a family-owned and operated business. We run a gun store, pawn shop in Longmont, Colorado, and have served the Front Range for nearly 25 years. Currently, we have over 400 guns for sale in our 4,200 square foot showroom. Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, according to Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, is one of the state's highest volume gun dealers. We are also the busiest pawn shop in Longmont, and we offer the lowest interest rates on your loans in northern Colorado. Seriously, why would you pawn your valuables anywhere else? We've sold over 45,000 guns since 1999, so if you are into those old Colts and Winchesters or new Glocks and H&Ks, we'll take good care of you. People you can trust and a pawn shop you can trust. That's Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, 303-772-7952. That's 303-772-7952.
All right, guys, welcome back to Real Truth. You pick the leader of a country the way you pick the leader of a corporation. Who's the smartest, who's got the best vision, and who can implement his programs most effectively. Donald Trump is an expert at that, as he is proving just about every single day. Then you get people who don't show that they have those abilities, but they're popular. People like them. That's how they pick leaders over on the left. Well, the flavor of the day is named Pete Butt-I-Gag. He's the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. And he's everyone's darling now, at least the simpletons on the left. He's their darling. Why? I have no idea. Maybe because he's so sensitive. He's the first gay candidate for president. I'm not sure exactly what that has to do with the qualifications to run the most powerful country in the world, but now he's popular. Laura Ingraham was on Fox News last night talking about Pete Butt-I-Gag. Let's listen.
On Palm Sunday,
Yeah, he wants to tell a story about let's continue to corrode America until the point it collapses of its own weight. He doesn't want to make America great again because the traditional America looked down on gay guys. Traditional America never worked well under Democrat policies. We are firing on all cylinders now with Republican policies. So he has no vested interest in making America great again. He wants to change America into something it's never been before. That's wrong. No one's talking about stopping the clock, but we're talking about re-embracing the very principles that made us rich and powerful and successful and prosperous in the first place. Pete, Mr. Butt I Gag, we're not going backwards. We're going forwards, but we're going forwards a hell of a lot smarter than we did under 8 years of Barack Obama.
Now, never mind that Trump has sparked a manufacturing job renaissance that's been unseen in decades. Now, since he took office, more than 450,000 manufacturing jobs have been added to this economy. But when you got fancy magazine cover spreads and media acolytes, who needs this facts? And all the right media types, did you notice? They're still dejected after the Russian collusion flop. They found themselves a brand new political messiah.
A really special day yesterday. Everybody stopped. They were watching Tiger, and they watched Mayor Pete. And I don't know, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, just may be a day that a lot of people look back on and see history being made.
Yeah, let me issue a warning to Joe Scarborough. Before you drop to your knees in front of Pete Butt I Gag, you ought to know what happens to men who drop in their knees in front of Pete Butt I Gag.
It was a remarkable.
I think he's trying to say that they were remarkable. What he really means is that he's got something shivering up his leg into his innards. At just how wonderful, wonderful Pete Butt I Gag is.
Now, scintillating analysis as always.
All right, folks, this points out why so many of Obama's voters were schmucks. That clip was from 2008. He was running for president for the first time, and he was promising hope and change. Oh, that's wonderful. What kind of change, Barack? If you remember, on this very show, I played videos of voters answering questions. They're going to vote for Obama because we need change. And the guy with the microphone said, what changes does he want to make? And to a man and a woman, their answers were, I'm not really sure. I don't really know. But he wants to make change. And sure enough, after 8 years of Obama in the White House, all we had left in our pockets was change.
Well, even if the Obama came.
Now, before we do that, when Laura Ingraham said he was channeling the last Cupid doll favorite, I thought she was talking about Beto O'Rourke. Remember, he's also the Messiah. Obama was the Messiah, Beto's the Messiah, and now Pete Butt I Gag of Bend, South Indiana is the Messiah.
First comes freedom. Something our conservative friends have come to think of as their own. But let me tell you, freedom does not belong to just one political party.
Well, here's what Pete Buttigieg meant when he said your neighbor can make you unfree. He means people in general, the majority of people don't much care for gay men. That's what he meant. Let's be honest. He's saying, as a gay male, I've found opprobrium coming from my neighbors. Pete, get used to it, my friend. It's part of human nature. We'll be back.
I'm Ryan, EMF Mitigator. You worried about 5G wireless cell towers in your area? Would you like to know if your home or office is being penetrated by electromagnetic fields from overhead power lines? What about powerful signals that hit your smart meter? EMF Mitigator can answer these questions. Our state-of-the-art measuring equipment. We are in the business of measuring, locating, and reducing or eliminating man-made electromagnetic frequencies. In 2011, the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified radio frequency radiation as a group 2B carcinogen. Other carcinogens include heart attack, lead, and elements. Take control of your exposure by calling EMF Mitigators at 970-300-3414. Mention that you heard about us on KHNC 1360. We'll come to measure your home or office for only $99. Discover what may be affecting you in your own environment. Call EMF Mitigators today at 970-300-3414. Or reach us 24 hours a day at EMFmitigators.com.
Was your home built between 1965 and 1975? If so, you may have an aluminum wired home. Aluminum wiring can be hazardous. These homes are around 50 years old now and using more electrical power than ever imagined back in the day. An aluminum wire does not get better with time. They are much harder to insure and harder to sell as well. Aluminum wire repair are electricians focus on the permanent mitigation of the aluminum wire hazard. Call them for a free inspection now. Aluminum wire repair, 720-299-4706. Or visit their website at alwirerepair.com. Don't walk away from a home you're planning on buying just because it has aluminum wire. Let them help you. Your safety is their business. They are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call them today, 720-299-4706, or visit their website, alwirerepair.com.
All right, welcome back to Real Truth, my friends. Howard Riell at the microphone. Don't forget your homework assignment today. Get on your computers. Go to howardriell.com. That's Riell. If you've got a group, organization, church, what have you, and you'd like me to come speak, write to me at howardriell@gmail.com. Riell. Now, the media thinks you're stupid. We know that. And so they tell you Donald Trump is a racist. He hates blacks. He hates Latinos. And blacks and Latinos hate him. Well, there may be children who believe that, but it doesn't square with the facts. Donald Trump got more black votes than any Republican candidate for president ever, and he'll get even more in 2020. As far as Latinos are coming out solidly for Donald Trump. Here is Dick Morris talking about just that. Folks, let me tell you something about Hispanics, all right? A lot of people won't tell you this, but I know, so I'll tell you about Hispanics. And here it is. They're just like everybody else. Like everybody else. They want to work, make a good living, enjoy the finer things in life. They want honest government. They want a country that's flourishing. And so, of course, they want Trump. The media narrative is they hate Trump because he's a racist. No. The idiots that CNN puts in front of a TV camera may think that their 15 minutes of fame depends on bad-mouthing Trump, or maybe they're truly stupid and they hate Trump. But the majority of Latinos in America, based on what I'm seeing, understand what he's doing, respect it, and want it. And so, yes, you can expect an avalanche of Latino support for Trump in the upcoming election.
The earth-shattering.
Well, of course they're not. My friends, you ever stood online someplace? You're online at the bank, or you're online to buy tickets. I don't care what you're online. And you see someone sneak in ahead of you. They bump into the middle of a line where they don't belong. How do you feel? You're going to support them? I defend that person's right to cut the line. You'll never hear that. Instead, you'll hear, hey, you, get out of here. Go back to the line. Get to the back of the line where you belong. And that's how Latinos are with people who come here illegally. A lot of them. Some want more Latinos in America, so they're fine with them coming illegally. But the more responsible Latinos, the ones who work for a living, the ones who are invested in this country, they don't want people cutting the line. They want them to come in legally the way they or their parents did. And it's perfectly understandable.
Instead, they may regard.
All right, there you go. There you go. Well, because they are listening when Donald Trump gets up in front of a crowd and repeats the statistic that comes from the official sources that Latino unemployment is lower than ever before in the history of the United States. In other words, life is better for Latinos under Donald Trump than it ever has been in this nation's history. I'll say it again. Life is better for Hispanics, for Latinos, in America today than it ever has been thanks to Donald Trump. So only in the lurid fantasy land of the left do Hispanics despise Donald Trump. It's not true. They respect Donald Trump because he's got a work ethic and he's doing the right thing for all Americans. CNN, MSNBC, and the loony left can scream racism all they want. Not true. Hasn't been true. Ever. A rising tide lifts all boats. And all boats are being lifted by the Trump administration. We'll take a break and we'll wrap things up here on Real Truth, my friends. Don't leave now. You're going to miss some good stuff.
Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, serving Longmont in the Front Range of Colorado since 1994. We specialize in guns and currently have 400 guns for sale. We also buy, sell, pawn, and trade for gold, silver, musical instruments, knives, archery equipment, quads, side-by-side, coins, and a lot more. We buy gun collections and do appraisals, which is smart for insurance purposes should a claim arise. We are, according to ATF, Colorado's second highest volume gun dealer, and because we have a lot lower overhead than the big box stores, we can beat the big box stores by as much as $100 per gun. And we have the lowest interest rates in northern Colorado, half of what the corporate stores charge when you're doing a loan. Come and see us at Grandpa's Pawn and Gun. If you love guns, if you love gold, come and see us. Check us out on the web, www.grandpaspawn.com or 303-772-7952.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Phillips. No one in America does what we do. Our health and nutrition profile is a free 1-hour interview with one of our counselors. We look at what you eat, what you drink, exercise, education, environment you work in, food you crave, present health care, history, your family history, everything that makes you a unique person. No one is exactly like you. Then we will suggest some food changes. Maybe you should add something to your diet. Maybe you should eliminate something from your diet. Then we suggest green herb products to supplement your diet. We usually suggest between 2 and 5 things. 60 capsules cost $17.50, but remember, you are not obligated to purchase anything. Call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372 to set your no obligation appointment.
Item from the San Diego Union Tribune. Congress has passed just 12 new laws since January. One modifies pay for podiatrists working for the Department of Veteran Affairs. Another renames a vets center in North Ogden, Utah. A third revises the charter of the National Future Farmers of America organization. Unquote. In other words, we have a do-nothing Congress, and it is an absolute disgrace. So, when Ann Coulter stands up in front of a microphone and says, Donald Trump is at fault because there's no wall. No, Ann. Trump is not at fault. This zilch Congress is at fault. Item from The Sun. A leading academic and cleric from World Cup host country Qatar has filmed a shocking guide on how Muslim men should beat their wives. The vile video features Abd al-Aziz al-Khazraj, demonstrating how to punish a woman in accordance with Islamic law. In a further sick move, the sociologist used a school-age boy called Naif to show how to deliver beatings out of love, so a woman can feel a man's strength. And he disgustingly said some women enjoy being married to violent and powerful husbands. Unquote. So I just want to take this moment to wish a bon voyage to all the big mouth feminists in America. I know they're off to Qatar to do battle with people who are really mistreating women. Have a wonderful I'm sorry, what? Oh, American feminists are not going to Qatar? Where are they going? They're going to continue to run their mouths here in America where it's relatively easy and it doesn't require any kind of sacrifice. Got it. Item from Breitbart. A 41-year-old Pakistani migrant will face trial after vandalizing the St. Denis Basilica, the home of the tombs of many French kings, including Charles Martel. The Pakistani origin male who had arrived in France only 2 months ago will stand trial in Bobigny next month, accused of causing serious damage to the main organ of the basilica, as well as smashing stained glass windows in an apparent attack that took place in March, La Parisienne reports, unquote. So, my friends, here's yet another Muslim damaging a church in France, but don't think that Muslims damaged the Notre Dame church, because that's not politically correct. Item from Breitbart. Plans for a series of Islamic State terror attacks across Europe in emulation of the Bataclan massacre in Paris, France, have been revealed. In a letter to the Islamic State self-appointed Caliph Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, uncovered by the Sunday Times, 6 jihadist leaders describe how they will use a number of so-called crocodile cells to acquire funds for terrorist operations through violent crime and perpetrate mass casualty terror attacks against European civilians, unquote. Well, obviously, my friends, this is put out by Islamophobes, accusing poor, bedraggled, victimized Muslims of the most heinous things imaginable for no other reason than that they've been doing the most heinous things imaginable for 14 centuries. Item from Breitbart. James Murdoch, the scion of billionaire and Fox News founder Rupert Murdoch, gave the maximum possible donation to 2020 Democrat presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg's campaign, unquote. My friends, I have noticed a leftward lurch on Fox News, and this only serves to confirm that. I worry for America when a right-wing bastion and a real, honest-to-goodness, good news source like Fox News begins to list left because James Murdoch likes Buttigieg, the mayor of Bend, South Indiana. Item from Breitbart. The Times of Israel reports 2 small fires were started in southern Israel by balloons carrying incendiary devices. So, my friends, Islamists, they do start fires, but not at Notre Dame Cathedral. Wipe that out of your mind. I'll see you tomorrow.